Yo, what is up, my boys? You got Mr. Illusion coming at you with my Week 2 battle versus Tone, coach of the Maine Red Clawitzers. And unfortunately, there'll be no team for this week. I'm kind of on a time crunch due to I'm going on vacation soon to Hawaii. And so I just want to get this game out before the deadline, before the NPL Illuminati goons come take me out and replace me with a clone of myself. So I'm facing Tone, and Tone's coming off a hot loss against Keegan. He lost 5-0 to Yan Mega, and you may be thinking, oh, this guy got tossed, easy win. No, that's not true. Tone, I know, is a very good coach, and he's looking to avenge himself after his loss from last week. And so he's going to be coming at me hard to prove himself in this league. And so I can't let him get the better of me. And despite his broken looking team, I've got a broken team of my own to counteract his. Just to go over the matchup a little bit, Tone has 3 Mons on the bench that he didn't bring. Heatran, Decidueye, and I believe Hariyama. And the 6 Mons in front of me are, I think, one of his most threatening team of 6. Except with maybe the Heatran over something like Manectric could have been more troublesome. I don't know, but he just has a threatening UU looking squad in front of me, and I'm scared of it. Especially Mamo, Scolipede, and Komodo. Those 3 Mons can really stomp me into the dirt if I'm not careful. My team does not have a ground ice resist, and really no team really does. And let's just get into my team and tell you how I'm gonna beat Tone right here, right now. I got Porygon 2, no nickname. Max Defense Bold, Thunder Wave, Recover, Hidden Power Ground, Tri-Attack. So I'm Max Defense Bold for the Scolipede. And Porygon 2 really takes any hit from Scolipede. Even Z move, something like Z Buginium, I can take a +2 hit. And because of the way my team is structured, he has to run certain coverage moves, and Superpower cannot be one of those coverage moves. And the moves I have on Porygon is Tri-Attack. He doesn't really have a normal resist outside of Decidueye, which I'm not scared of. Hidden Power Ground for the Heatran. It still doesn't do that much, the Hidden Power Ground. But if it ever comes to a Porygon 2 versus Heatran last Mon scenario, I can possibly come out on top. And Thunder Wave is just to slow some Mons down in an emergency scenario, especially Mons like, say, Komodo, if you want to try and Dragon Dance up on me. Next, I have Max Spadef Empoleon. This Pokemon's here for Primarina, and it switches into Primarina always, and Primarina can never really break Empoleon. I have Defog to get away the rock, Scald for just general stab and fishing for burns, Ice Beam to hit both Komodo and Decidueye, and Toxic for the Mew and anything else that wants to switch in. Toxic is just good for his walls in any scenario. Next, I have Life Orb Hydreigon, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, Draco Meteor, Roost. This Pokemon is my main Heatran switching. I can take even Flash Cannons from Heatran pretty well and threaten it out with Earth Power and then Roost up on it. Unfortunately, this Mon can't really touch Primarina. Even a Life Orb Earth Power doesn't do that much. It does a decent chunk, but not damage to be writing home about. But I have Empoleon to come in on Primarina and threaten it out with Toxic or just Scald Burns. So I'm hoping this duo of Hydreigon and Empoleon to put in some work and deal with Heatran and Primarina. Next, I have Sub, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Roost, Copper Coco, Electrium Z. So the interesting premise of this set is I can sub up as Scolipede goes for Protect and then kill him with an Electrium Z Thunderbolt no matter what his set is. This Pokemon also can beat Mew, even if maybe if it's Calm Mind, it can't beat Mew, but I can really threaten the Mew out with the Electrium G because of how strong it is in the electric terrain. And Dazzling Gleam is just stab. I could have put Grass Knot, but I thought Dazzling Gleam would have hits Mamoswine and it hits Manectric better, and that's why I have Dazzling Gleam. And Roost is for recovery. Heracross, I have SD, Pin Missile, Rock Blast, and Close Combat. Rock Blast hits Scolipede and is some good neutral damage. Hits Primarina pretty hard as well on the switch in. Pin Missile is very strong strongest stab from Mega Heracross, and he doesn't really have a good switch in. Even something like Scolipede Premium would take a way more than expected from a pin missile. And close combat is also stab. It makes sure that the Komo'o can't sit up on me. Because I'm max attack adamant, I can just send that thing packing to the nether realm if it ever tries to set up on me. And I have right on max Spadef, 16 attack adamant, so I can my earthquakes and rock blast hit a little harder. It's also my rocker and has toxic, just in case. But yeah, it's mainly my Mecha Manectric switching because I have the electric terrain and I don't want him to use electric terrain boosted thunderbolts to stomp on my team. So yeah, let's get into the game. So first off, I lead Mega Heracross and he leads Primarina. So the reason I led Mega Heracross was because it matched up well versus a lot of his leads. If he led like Mamoswine, I could just go for something like Pin Missile. If he led Scolipede, I'd go for Rock Blast. If he led Manectric, I could go into Rhydon. If he led Komo'o, I could just close combat. If he led Mew, I could either stay in and go for Pin Missile or just go into Empoleon. But he leads Primarina, and I don't have the Bullet Seed. And Rock Blast doesn't kill, so I can't risk Heracross here. So I just go into my dedicated counter, Bill the Empoleon. So that Moonblast does nothing. He gets special attack drop, which doesn't really matter. And right here, I just go for the Toxic on Bill, and I catch the Mew, which is very good because now, if he's like a Calm Mind or setup variant, or like even like a sub variant, I pretty much negated the threat of that kind of set. And if he's a defensive variant, he's not going to be doing much defense due to the fact that he's toxic. So that was a good turn of events. He could have went Scolipede on the toxic there, but that would have been like a very, very hard read. Especially with the fact that if I went for Scald and got the burn, he pretty much lost his win condition right then and there. So there's no way he's going Scolipede. And right here, I just go to soup the Hydreigon. So right here, I just wanted to scout what the Mew was. I didn't think he'd go for the hard Dazzling Gleam on the Empoleon, and if he did and caught my Hydreigon, good on Tone for putting his dick on the table, but there's no way he's doing that. And he just goes for the knockoff, and he gets some leftovers, so I know this is like a bulky variant. I know this is a bulky variant of Mew, so I'm not really scared of him being like max speed Dazzling Gleam. Because you wouldn't be like max speed knockoff on like a Mew meant to hit Hydreigon. And if he was, shout outs to Tone for having that God Lure set. But yeah, right here I just go for the Dark Pulse. Hit the Primarina. It doesn't do that much. It did as much as his Moonblast did in Empoleon because I got my Life Orb knocked off. But it doesn't really matter because I can just go into Empoleon here and I just go for the Scald here in case this time he wanted to go into Scolipede. I thought Scald was my best play because the best thing he could do with Primarina was just Moonblast and do negative damage. And if I get the burn off, his Primarina is getting worn down whenever it comes in. And if his Mew comes in as he did right here, Scald is doing a decent chunk. And so right here, I don't want to get knocked off. I think he's going to go for the knockoff because if he knocks off Bill's leftovers, his Primarina can start wearing me down and his Mew could start wearing me down as well, which would be really bad because Primarina, if it gets too out of hand, I'm going to lose because I don't have a switch into Primarina outside of this Empoleon. So let's just go into Dougal, the Tapu Koko, predicting a knockoff, but he makes a nice play and just goes for the Stealth Rocks here. Nice play on Tone's part, rocking on my Defogger. He knew that I can't risk getting my leftovers knocked off. And worst comes to worst, I just go for the Scald right there and Defog right after in his eyes. But yeah, good play on his part. Right here, I just go for the sub in case he wants to go into Mamoswine or something. And if he tries to break my sub, Toxic is still doing damage and Mew will still be low. And I can wait for Mew to die and just keep getting up subs. He goes into Manectric and something interesting happens here. He Megas and I actually outspeed him. And that's very interesting due to the fact that I'm not even max speed Tapu Koko. So he's like a very, very bulky Manectric or something along those lines. Because my Coco is only meant to outspeed Jolly Scolipede. And I outsped the Mega Manectric, and this isn't Gen 6, so he gets the speed boost immediately. So he's a very weird set, very bulky set. And I do a good chunk Dazzling Gleam. Not as much as I thought I would. I think he has a lot of bulk because I outsped and it didn't do that much. But yeah, he brings in Papa Mamoswine, and Papa Mamoswine, I kind of have to scout this set. It's not rocks because Mew has rock, so it's probably Life Orb. It could even be Banded. So I just go into Porygon 2, max defense. I trace the Thick Bat, so even if he goes for Icicle Crash here, predicting the Hydreigon, Porygon 2 resists and I take no damage. And he goes for the Earthquake. Life Orb Earthquake bounces off Porygon's 2 thick chest. And right here, I just go for the Recover. And what's scary about the Mamo Porygon 2 matchup, and if he's like knockoff or even superpower, Porygon 2 can get really low and in a lot of trouble. So I have to be wary of that, but I don't think he's knockoff or Earthquake because he didn't go for the knockoff or Earthquake there. He just goes into Manectric, and right here I have a hard counter in Rhydon. He can't really do much to Rhydon. He goes for the Toxic. Toxic my Rhydon, but I don't really care. Right here's the perfect chance to get rocks up, so he can't be he can't start doing some he can't keep pivoting on me for free. With rocks up, I can get Scolipede down low and start wearing down his Pokemon. He goes Mew. I don't want to stay in. I just go Coco. Just don't want to get knocked off or anything. He just goes to Sock Boil. Right here, I just go for a Roost. And I'm kind of trying to see, I wanted to see his last coverage move, see if he had like Dazzling Gleam for Hydreigon, but he has the Psychic, and it does a good amount, but it doesn't do a lot. It does a decent amount, but it doesn't do a lot, so I can keep Roost stalling, and so long as he doesn't get a crit or a Spadef drop, I can pretty much just Roost stall until he's in range of my Z Thunderbolt, which is right here. So I just go for Z Thunderbolt, get rid of Mew, and that's really good for me, because his Mew's gone, and so he has no more. He's no more switching to things like Scald or even Rhydon's Earthquake or even Mega Heracross's Rock Blast. So that's really good. He goes into Mega Manectric, and like I said before, I had the hard counter in Rhydon, and he gets with the Hidden Power Ice. I think he's not Hidden Power Grass because I have Hidden Power. I have Gligar on my team, so he has to be Hidden Power Ice. And as you see, that does like a negative amount of damage, 27%. That does no damage. And right here, he can like preserve his Manectric, but he really has nothing he wants to switch an Earthquake to. Even Primarina, I'm like 60 attack Adamant. Primarina is going to take a metric fuck ton from Earthquake. So he has to be very careful. And so right here, he just sacks off his Manectric to double down with my Bash to Rhydon. That's fine with me because Bash was only here to take on the Mega Manectric. And right here, I think I make a misplay going into Tapu Koko on the switching. Tapu Koko matches up well versus everything but the Mamoswine. But since he brought in the Mamoswine, I kind of had to sack something. I could go Porygon 2, but I want to keep that as healthy as possible for the Scolipede in the back, in case he like SDs up and goes for and has a Z move. So right here, I just go for the Hydreigon. This Pokemon Mew's gone, so I don't need it. He doesn't bring Heat Rant, so I don't need it to switch into that. And he has Primarina, so my moves aren't doing anything, and my Life Orb's gone. So sorry to Soup, but I had to sack you right here. Because you weren't really doing anything in this matchup at this point, and I just let Soup go down to the Ice Shard. And right here, I think I make a bit of a misplay. I don't go into Porygon. I go Porygon 2. I go into Omega Heracross, and that's a misplay because he goes for the Icicle Crash and gets a lot of damage on me. And what this means is I can't check his Komodo or his Scolipede anymore. And I also think it's a misplay because he could have flinched me with the Icicle Crash, and I could have missed the Rock Blast as well. So I think it was just a huge misplay to go into Heracross when I had Porygon 2 right there, which would have dealt with Mamoswine pretty well. But yeah, he gets a lot of damage. I kill it off, and he brings in Primarina, and Rock Blast can kill depending on his bulk investment and depending on rolls. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go for the Rock Blast here. I outspeed, max speed, Primarina. So I think there's nothing to risk here. I go for the Rock Blast. It's doing a lot of damage, and I might be able to kill with if I get a crit or something right here. But he shows off the Wiki Berry, and good call on Tone's part, because even if I had bullet speed, that Wiki Berry meant that I wouldn't have been able to kill him, because he would have gotten all his health back, and with that because of that Wiki Berry, I just lose my Heracross, and it also has some deeper implications in the battle. I go into Coco and I Thunderbolt kill it, and this is where Primarina killing my Heracross actually matters. So as you notice, the terrain is gone. And what that means is that Thunderbolt no longer kills Scolipede. My sub Thunderbolt set kills Scolipede after rocks if the terrain is up, but the terrain is gone, and that means I do like 72 max. And so even if I go for the sub here, say I go for the sub here, right? And he goes for the protect. Best case scenario, even if I Thunderbolt. Even if I Thunderbolt, I won't be able to kill it, and then Dougal will die to rocks even if I switch out, and that Komodo will be able to beat my last two Pokemon if Dougal goes down. So I can't afford to stay in here without the electric terrain up and make any plays, so I just go into Bill right here, and he goes for the protect. If he went for the Earthquake here, that would have been very, very troublesome, but I maybe could have pulled it out in the back, but he has the Scolipede right here. He goes for the Earthquake and does a lot, but he puts me in torrent range of Scald, and I do 75%, leaving him at 1. And fortunately, I get the burn. Fortunately, on my end, because that means his Scolipede is dead. And yeah, that means his Scolipede is dead. But I just want to note that because I was in torrent, that was actually in my favor for the roll to kill the Scolipede. And so I had the chance of the roll plus the burn to kill the Scolipede, so yeah. But right now he goes into Komodo, and this is the reason why me letting Heracross die or get low was a huge mistake. If he's Dragon Dance, I just lose right here. If he goes for the Dragon Dance, and if he's something even like Lum, if he goes for the Dragon Dance, I just straight up lose right here, right now. But if I had Heracross in the back at full health, I wouldn't have lost, because +1, even Life Orb Dragon Claw doesn't kill Heracross, and I would have been able to kill back with a close combat, or he would have had to go for the +1 outrage to kill Heracross, and Coco would have been able to revenge right after. So me getting rid of the Heracross mattered a lot, because if he's Dragon Dance, I just lose. But he's not Dragon Dance, and that's amazing for me. I go for the Ice Beam, bring him low, so if he's a Totemized Drain Punch, I could be in a lot of trouble. But he goes for the close combat and shows off the Life Orb. Now, you know what this means? I'm max defense Porygon 2, and no matter what, even if he's Adamant Komodo, because he didn't Dragon Dance, he went for the Atomize, that means close combat does 82 damage minimum. So that means because Porygon 2, thick body Porygon 2, is max defense, I'm gonna win this game right now, because Porygon 2 takes a close combat, and with the defense drops from close combat, Tri Attack kills 100%. If he was like Drain Punch, I would have had to go for like a Thunder Wave, and maybe there would have been some 50-50s. I would have had to bank on him getting parried with Tapu Koko in front of Tapu Koko. But since it's close combat, I win 100%. Porygon 2 takes 82 max. The roll is, there's no way he can kill me right now, and I win the game. Psych! That's the wrong number. No, I get crit and I die. And we lose the game right here, right now. So, just some closing thoughts on the game. So, as I was talking about, we did the calcs. Porygon 2 lived that that Life Orb Adamant close combat 100%. There was no way for him to kill me with Komodo because I was max defense Porygon 2, and the only way for him to win at that point was for him to crit. But yeah, so we lose our second week because of hacks, but this is Pokemon. I kind of expected it, and I was kind of disappointed by how I played. As I was talking about earlier during this turn with Heracross on the Mamoswine, I kind of let luck screw me over. I could have played in a way in which luck wouldn't have factored into the game's outcome in the end, but because of the way I played, even though I would have won had there not been hacks, because I sacked Heracross right there when I didn't need to, I definitely misplayed super hard, and I wouldn't say I deserved the crit, but I would say that I definitely could have played and prepped better to where a crit wouldn't have been able to lose me the entire game. No hate to Tone, he played that very well, conserving the Komodo in the back until the end game, and I can understand why he brought Atomize. So unfortunate. Sorry I couldn't bring a win to week 2 for the Venusaur's fan, but the reason I lost is because Porygon 2 didn't have a nickname. So if you want Porygon 2's nickname, comment in the comment section so I can put a nickname on Porygon 2. I was cursed because every other Pokemon but Porygon 2 had a nickname, and at the most critical moment in the game, Porygon 2 got critical hit. So sorry about this, guys. We take an L for week 2, but it was a really nice game. I only lost 1-0. I would have won 2-0 were it not for that crit, but Mons is Mons, and sometimes you get screwed. But see you guys later. Hopefully this will be our only loss in the season, and see you guys next time.